Well, hello and welcome to a very special welcome back, welcome home, homecoming press conference here in London. There were some big wins out in Riyadh over the weekend, an iconic event, the Ring of Fire, Tyson Fury against Alexander Usyk, and plenty of undercard interest. Anthony Cacace became a world champion, adding the IBF title to his IBO title. Young Moses Itauma here continued his streak of just blitzing opponents. And Mark Chamberlain, first round knockout, became the WBC silver champion. So let's start with Hall of Fame boxing promoter Frank Warren beaming. You know, the main event didn't quite go the British way, but plenty of success on the undercard on Saturday night. Look around, look at these belts.
It certainly was, but you know, the main event was an epic fight, great fight between two absolute gladiators, two Spartans, who gave everything. They didn't leave a bit in the ring, and both of them are credit to the sport. And so are these guys. You know, Mark, in his fight, I genuinely thought Wahab was going to give him quite a few rounds. But that was just a blitzing, and the brilliant punch power. He's shown so much punch power at the moment, and it was just a fabulous fight. He's a WBC, or finisher, I should say. He's the WBC silver champion now, so he's got a good ranking. You get into the top 10. And besides being a fighter that we're proud of, he's obviously His Excellency's favourite fighter, and he was thrilled by it. I just feel that we're in a situation now where we're blessed with some of these British guys who are going to go on and do some really big things in the world of boxing. And certainly Mark will do that. I've got to pronounce his name right.
Beranchyk, yeah.
Beranchyk won the weekend in America. That's a lovely fight, I think, for him. Beranchyk has options with us, and that's something we will be looking at and considering. But whatever happens, Mark is making his mark. He's stamping his authority in this division and looking better and better in every fight. There's no doubt about that.
Before we speak to them, Frank, just a word. Anthony Cacace couldn't be here with us today, but you saw the homecoming that he had in Belfast, in Andy Town. He's become a real hero there. What a moment it was for Anthony Cacace.
It certainly was, and he should get a hero's welcome because he was a hero. You know, what he'd done, he went into that fight as a big underdog, and we've always felt that he was a really good fighter, but he's lost a bit of momentum over the years where, you know, he's not fought as regular as he should, but he trained for that fight, prepared for it as you would do for a world title and for that opportunity, and delivered big time against a really good fighter in Joe Cordina. He showed his power, that third round and the ending in the eighth. It was just I'm not being disrespectful to Joe, but it was like he was the champion on the night. But he done fabulously well, and he deserves all his accolades. And all I want him to do, not too much celebrating, if you know what I mean, Anto, and then we'll get back to a big defence of the title fairly soon.
Great stuff. Well, let's speak to Moses Itauma. Moses, impressive yet again in Riyadh. This time it took you a little bit longer, took a couple of rounds to get your man out of there. How do you reflect on another great performance?
No, it was good. Obviously got my first title out of the way. Obviously he's a good challenger, he was a good opponent. Obviously previously took Tom Schwartz, I think it was like 6 rounds or 7 rounds. I got him out in 2, so there was a good fight for me to make at the end of the year, I guess, or even next. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm back out soon.
Look, you say that like he was a decent opponent. He's done good 100%. Rounds with Tom Schwartz. But like, I was doing the punditry with Steve Bunce, and he said the closer we got to fight night, the guy seemed to kind of go within himself, and the face-off actually, maybe he looked a little bit nervous, and you seemed to notice something. There was a bit of a smirk from you. Did you see that?
No, I didn't, but I kind of have that effect. I think my last 3 or 4 opponents are the same.
That fella had 24 fights. He won 23 of them. You know, that's pedigree. That was his 9th fight. 9th fight. I mean, don't underestimate about opponents and that. What he did, no one else has done that to him in 24 fights.
First belt as well, Moses. Good feeling, right?
100%. I do apologise, I forgot to bring it, but it is a very nice looking belt.
Tell us what the plan is then. What do you want? We've seen Sol Dakers earlier on today. He's defending his English title against David Adelaide. I know that. What, are you interested in the winner? What are you interested in?
So anyone really. The Solomon Dacres versus David Adelaide, the winner of that could be a little bit tasty. Obviously, as I mentioned, Tom Swartz, Dempsey McKean, Justice Hooney, they're all good names, and I'd love to get their rankings.
How does that sound, Frank? I mean, this is clearly a man with a bit of a plan.
Well, he is a man with a plan. I mean, we've been very interested, well, not interested, we've invested from day one. You know, my son Francis, who's his manager, brought it to my attention. I think we were about 15 then, wasn't he? He was only a young fella, and he was sparring with one of our top heavyweights. I'm not going to tell you who it was. And they showed me the footage, and I said, who is this? And I didn't know who he was sparring with because he had the head guard on. And when they told me, I was like, what? He's 15? And the rest, as you know, is history. We sponsored and signed him. He's a fabulous, fabulous prospect. And the thing about it now, it's the first time he's trained for a 10-round fight. And that is what I wanted to see him do. Because, you have to excuse me. Because I honestly believe he's ready to fight for the British title right now.
Are you having to sort of like Moses when you're asked
about?
He's a
teenager, by the way.
Yeah,
he's
19 years old.
Of age. He was only 19.
Boy.
But when you're being
asked
asked
at 10 o'clock at night, you know, that is not allowed.
Moses, when you're being asked about these fights, you must like believe that you beat all of these guys now, but you're holding back from saying it, trying to show some respect. Is that kind of on your mind?
No, you know, I always show respect to any fighter that jumps in the ring, because when you make that long ring walk, trust me, it gets nervous, it gets scary, and when you're in the ring, you're very vulnerable. So I take my hat off to anyone that steps in the ring. But like I said, it's nothing personal. I just want their rankings.
Has it sunk in yet that you were really a part of history? Just Saturday, just gone, you were on Fight of the Century.
No, it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, like I said, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have the opportunity to fight on big cards like that, and obviously for me to put a performance on. Then what more can I ask? Or what more can someone ask from me?
Not much at all. Congratulations. We look forward to continuing watching your success, Moses Itauma. It's been great to watch so far. Let's speak to Mark Chamberlain. Plenty of belts in front of you, Mark, and it was a one-round demolition job on Joshua Wahab, who was meant to, I think, Frank, he was meant to give him a few rounds, but he didn't.
Yeah, I was expecting a hard fight, to be honest with you. We prepared for 12 hard rounds. But yeah, I wouldn't shy away from an early night. I've had 2 fights in the space of 9 weeks, 2 hard camps. So an early night was like the cherry on top for me. Then I can relax.
You didn't expect it to go that early, did you?
Definitely not. I mean, it wasn't even like a power shot anyway. What's the point of loading up? Because it just don't happen. It was just like the first left hand I let go and over he went.
And you had a little moment with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh afterwards as well. What was said there? Are you still his favourite fighter?
I hope so. He's given me the green light again to be part of a big show. So just got to keep delivering. Obviously, there's a bit of pressure there. The extra pressure of him keep saying I'm his favourite. So just got to keep delivering and winning. And I'm sure I'll always be welcome on the big shows.
How are you dealing with that pressure? Because it is it's attached every time you fight now. It's the story that people attach to you. They say, here he is, His Excellency's favourite fighter. That's you that they're talking about. How are you dealing with that pressure?
I mean, there's always pressure there without the added pressure, if you want to say that. But I try not to let the pressure get the better of me, because, as you can see with like other fighters, like pressure can make people fold. And I just try and ignore that and just try and treat it as a bigger sparring session as such. But obviously on a bigger scale, you know, 2 of the biggest platforms in the world. But yeah, just got to try and put that behind you and crack on.
So what do you want to do now? I can see some WBC silver. I can see some IBF. I can see some WBA. It looks like you're very well ranked by everyone. What do you want to do, Mark?
I just want big fights. We're heading in the right direction. I've got the right people around me, and I'm pretty sure with His Excellency involved, anything can be delivered. As you can see with what he's doing over there at the minute for boxing, So I'm sure if everyone puts their heads together and we can work something out and get a massive fight in the near future.
Well, BoxRec, make of BoxRec what you will. BoxRec has you as number 1 in the UK right now at lightweight. The number 2 is actually in this room, by the way. Sam Noakes is just over there.
Over in the corner.
Hiding in the corner. But do you agree with that, or do you think you're neck and neck, or do you think you are head and shoulders above Sam Noakes?
I think I'm above him. No doubt he's going to say the same about me. Obviously, if you don't back yourself, then there's something wrong. But yeah, I mean, them rankings are like cat and mouse, aren't they? If he fights, he might jump to 1. If I fight, I might jump back. So the rankings mean nothing.
What if you fight each other? Who would jump above?
It'd be me.
Let me tell you, it'd be a great fight. It will happen down the road, and when it happens, it's going to be one of the biggest fights involving 2 British boxers.
It's brewing.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, don't take liberties.
I'll speak to my mate, His Excellency, and he might invite you over.
Frank, looks like some big fights in the future of Mark Chamberlain. Obviously, there's Sam Noakes over there as well, a fight that we've wanted for so long. You mentioned you got a world lightweight champion now in the stable, and Dennis Baranchik as well. Look like some big nights ahead for Mark Chamberlain.
Absolutely, for all of them. I mean, these guys, they're all great fighters. They're all great young prospects. They've all done brilliantly well, and it's I mean, that's Queensbury. That's what we're all about. Getting guys, working with guys and bringing them, delivering for them. And this is probably the most exciting time for working with young guys and old and champions that I've ever had in boxing. This is just brilliant, and I am loving every moment. No, don't worry about these 2. I'm loving it too.
Great stuff. Thank you, Mark Chamberlain. Congratulations on another great win. Thank you, Moses Itauma. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you, Frank Warren. Let's get some photos down the front, and we'll be back very shortly. Thank you.
Well done. Come on, fellas.
I was going to throw Dev under the bus because he keeps throwing other people. So he said just